You did. I have it right here. All right. Are you guys good over there? Good, Ray.
Just do a rejoin.
Yep.
The Bobby Bones Show.
Let's do a couple voicemails. This is from Nicole.
I have a tip for Morgan. My husband also suffers from vertigo, and when he gets slightly dizzy, he takes a pinch of cream of tartar and puts it under his tongue. Cream of tartar is just a spice you can buy in the store. It's a regular spice you cook with. Might taste a little yucky, but it does get rid of his dizziness really, really fast. And, 38 seconds. Is that good enough for you, Scuba Steve? Later.
Hilarious. She's also referencing Scuba Steve saying, don't leave a 3-minute voicemail. She's timing it, which is also funny. But then also, Morgan, she talks about something called cream of tartar. That's not tartar sauce?
No.
I've never heard of that.
Worst condiment ever, by the way. If we're listing worst condiments, tartar sauce, very bottom, worst condiment. Cream of tartar, you haven't used that?
No, I've never even heard of this.
I'm looking at it here.
Yeah, I've only seen it's like a powder.
Yeah, it's a spice.
Potassium bitartrate, known as potassium hydrogen tartrate. And then they give the formula, which matters none to me, but it is cream of tartar. I've not heard of that. Will you look, Mike, what its general use is?
Doesn't sound very natural.
It is because it's like beaten egg whites. And just because something, and it couldn't, right, you're absolutely right.
Whenever there's a hydro in it, I don't feel
But you're talking about elements in the periodic table.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's more natural than that. I don't know what chemicals are putting in, but because something says that doesn't mean it automatically is bad.
All right, okay.
It could be. Cream of tartar has many uses. Baking, stabilizing whipped cream, cleaning. It's a flavor enhancer. It helps to give desserts their rise and prevent them from deflating. Are there a lot of chemicals in cream of tartar? Because Eddie might be onto something, but...
No, okay, think like meringue. Meringue pies.
I love meringue
it's
de
how
Lambert.
that you get the
Meringue de Lambert.
cream of tartar helps you get the fluffiness.
Yeah.
I wonder why it
Okay.
takes away dizziness, though. Like, what about
Could
this
also be
particular...
like a Meemaw's old remedy that really didn't matter, but was something that people believed, so it worked.
You know what I did learn? Like, speaking of dizziness,
You're right, though, Morgan. There's no strong scientific evidence to support the claim, and using it for dizziness is not recommended without consulting a doctor first. Doesn't mean it doesn't work, but yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it could be like a home remedy. So when I got super nauseous when they were doing the treatments, they put an alcohol swab right in front of my nose, and that stops like dizziness, nausea almost right away. Never knew that. Like straight alcohol swab.
Is that real?
Yes. And like this was a nurse doing this. This wasn't like she literally was like, pull out the alcohol swab. They pulled it up, and all of my because I was about to vomit, put it up against my nose, which they kind of had to shove it up there since I can't smell. But
Well, let's take a Google on that one and see if that's one of the old Meemaw tales.
Yeah, it's a natural ingredient.
What, cream of tartar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my only point was not knowing if I was right or wrong because things say stuff like hydrate, a lot of those, well, some of them are chemicals, but some of them are actually periodic table elements that
Which
are
is from the earth.
are fundamentally what everything is made by. Alcohol, well, if you do alcohol for dizziness, they're going to say don't drink.
Oh, yeah. That'll
because
make you dizzy.
You'll be dizzy. 4 shots of tequila, you'll be dizzy. But it worked for you?
yeah, like it was like, you know how you get those alcohol wipes that you'd use just to clean something off? That's what they put right in front of my nose, and she just held it there, and it stopped me from vomiting throughout the whole process.
While some anecdotal evidence suggests that smelling rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, may provide temporary relief from dizziness, there is no scientific consensus to support this claim. Doesn't mean it doesn't work, just means they haven't tested it enough to go, we think we know this is what this does to most people. But that's good to know for people that are struggling with it.
Yeah, at least a like quick remedy. Like I said, it doesn't fix your vertigo. The vertigo is not going to go away, but it'll at least help the nausea in the moment.
Beth from Missouri is voicemail 4.
Morning, studio. I was just calling to say thanks for keeping me company every morning. I listen to you all live while I'm doing my early morning running, and it feels like I have friends running with me every morning. And then I listen to the Part 3 podcast later on in the day when I'm walking my dog. So I just wanted to say thanks for what you do and for keeping me company.
Thank you. Appreciate that. This is a Part 3 of the podcast. By the way, for those keeping score at home, which I'm sure you do, when I say voicemail 4, it's 4 on my list, so Ray knows that wasn't the 4th voicemail we played. Because someone will go, you said voicemail 7. What'd you do? take away the other 6. No. It was
Oh.
it was the 7 on the sheet. Okay. I got some stuff. Do you want to know the Epstein stuff from yesterday?
Yep.
So they kept saying Epstein files are going to be released. I haven't said it on the show. And I said, I'm ready for it. Let's throw some people in jail. Let's know what's up. I don't want it to be partisan. I don't want any redaction. If you're going to say you're full transparency, be full transparency, because if any of those things don't add up, it's not full transparency. That's what I said. I still believe it. So yesterday, maybe around noon, 1 o'clock, and this is when I knew it was all going to be a joke, is all of these social media influencers were the ones that got to go in and get this binder that said phase 1 of Epstein files, and they're all like smiling, holding up their binders. So they released it to like influencers that have big followings. And I'm like, this is total bullcrap. I don't even care what's in the folder, because why would you release it to social media influencers and not to whomever is substantial in the government, and then it's released to America? So, but then the more I read, there were people on both sides pissed that they did this. What was weird too is all these influencers, they have like a folder that says Epstein phase 1, and this is like one of the most heinous, awful things ever, and they're just smiling so big. They're like, look what we got. This is like a gift.
It made it feel fake.
It did.
I was like, why do they have that binder that looks like a cheap binder?
They were just giggling and smiling like, look, we're in the white. So I figured then this was not going to be what we were led to believe. So I can read you some of the story, and I'm going to read this one from The Independent. Attorney General Pam Bondi released more than 100 pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Almost all the information was publicly available already. So that's what they released. As part of President Donald Trump's executive order demanding the government make documents related to the cases of national interest, Bondi said Wednesday she would release a lot of information. And that's what happened. As in Thursday, all the social media influencers got something in this big fat binder. The latest installment of the Epstein files included flight logs, a redacted contact book, and evidence list made up of part of the investigation. Epstein, who died by suicide while in prison in 2019, spent decades running a scheme that allowed him and other people, including allegedly high-profile people, to sexually abuse children. However, disappointment washed over because people believed that they were going to get more than they got. And then I'm going to scroll down here. They also say being named in the documents does not indicate wrongdoing related to Epstein or anyone else. The list of names includes alleged victims, accusers, and people connected to Epstein who were pulled into a civil or criminal lawsuit against his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. So then they say the names included in the documents have been listed below. Almost all this was already out there. But where it got a bit tricky over the last couple of years is there was so much disinformation of people going, we have it, and they'd post fake ones. And so when there are like 14 versions of it up, you really don't know which one's which. So again, from theindependent.com, the names included in the documents, which this is not breaking news. It is just a revisiting of the news we already knew. There was nothing yesterday we didn't know, which was tragically disappointing. I want to see people arrested. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, convicted in 2021 of sex trafficking connection to Epstein's activities. Which, by the way, I'm surprised she is not dead. She's in prison still.
Wow.
I'm surprised they haven't killed her just so she doesn't talk. Unless they know she's not going to talk. But, I mean, if you think Epstein killed himself, you're crazy. The cameras happen to go down. The guards happen to be gone. Next up, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, second son of Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain, brother of King Charles. Bill Clinton, former U.S. president. Donald Trump, businessman and former U.S. president. David Copperfield, American stage magician. Alan Dershowitz, public lawyer and media pundit. Leonardo DiCaprio, actor and film producer. Richard Branson. Some of these names, who I don't know who they are, like John Connolly, New York police detective. We're not going to know who they are, so I'm only going to read the ones I think we know who they are. Stephen Hawking, a former Israeli prime minister, I'm not sure how to say their name, Ehud Barak, Michael Jackson, Kevin Spacey, Kate Blanchett, Naomi Campbell, I don't know who that is, Sharon Churcher, British journalist, Bruce Willis, Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico, Cameron Diaz, Tom Pritzker, I don't know who that is, Chris Tucker, RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who that is. His Palm Beach house manager. Now it's just getting to people I don't know who they are. Yeah. I don't see anybody else I know. I think they're getting less publicly known. Dr. Tomlin. No. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Hold on. Before I'm done, I want to make sure there's nobody else that I recognize. Al Gore. And what they do say is sometimes people just could have been on the plane and taken a ride. Because they're not saying which ones went to the island, which ones went wherever. Some of them are on there multiple times.
So these are people that were just on his plane.
With him or on his plane, yeah.
Okay.
And there are people like Clinton and Trump that have multiple. And, the Prince Andrew. No, dude. Listen, what do I know but nothing? But dude, that dude.
Which one was he?
He's the one that's in the
that's
pictures
like
with.
known that it's like shady.
I hate to say something's known. so I don't say something's known, but
Okay.
it is
Allegedly.
Yeah,
from
I'm allegedly here today. You know,
yeah.
If we're doing that game, because I never want to get sued. I did see yesterday too where the Ole Miss student who allegedly slept with the dad of
her boyfriend.
And I came on here and I was like, allegedly. Didn't even say their names. And I was like, who knows? I might be making this up. Like they're pissed and like they're suing people that were telling that story.
Oh, wow.
Or at least they say they are. Like they were upset at Barstool and Pat McAfee.
For talking about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure who said what, why they said what. I just always like to cover myself with the
allegedly.
Hey, I think my new name should be Allegedly Bobby Bones.
I'm allegedly here.
Because I know nothing. But they released nothing yesterday. And then everybody starts to go, well, it looks like the New York FBI is holding stuff. It's bullcrap. They're never going to release it all. I have no faith. They said day one that the new FBI director gets in, they're going to do it, and JFK, and they're never going to do it. So, there you go. Any thoughts, Amy?
I'm trying to, I didn't circle back to it yesterday. I thought I would just like wait. So this is the first I'm hearing that they gave it to these
I knew when that happened, it was all a farce.
people with followers.
It was all influencers. Not that influencers don't have a place. Not that political influencers, and they were political influencers
Right.
that supported this administration, obviously. Not that they don't have a place. But that's not who you give it to and go. And then it just looked gross how they were all smiling,
Yeah, the
holding it.
picture is really weird.
It's really weird.
It's almost like we got the golden ticket.
And it's like
It's
that
like, well-
ticket.
I mean, that's kind of how journalism is. It's weird. It's weird when you have something that no one else does. You get really excited that you're about to tell people, or you have
but there were-
information.
So that's what
but
they're
the-
going to do?
No, but there were 13 of them. If you're one person and you're like, I got a story, but
I'm gonna break.
when they give it to 13 people and they're all influencers and they're all like holding it up like they just won something,
Yeah.
not the same. I understand what you're saying.
So then
But not-
for us to, then we have to go seek out these accounts.
No, because
So
there were
then-
people like, I think Congresswoman Luna last night had posted, she was like, screw it, I got the whole book now. I'll post everything in Dropbox. Dropbox ended up being taken down. I mean, so many people went to it. She was like, I'll show you every page of it. And so she did. It's just regurgitated stuff that people already knew.
Okay.
I really had hope yesterday was going to be the day they released that, and then we just see arrests. But also, there can be people that were possibly just getting a ride somewhere on a plane
Mm-hmm.
versus what they called, the Lolita Express that would take people to the island. So I want to know who went to the island.
Right.
I want to see flight logs on who went there. But I now don't think we'll ever see the absolute truth. So yesterday, there was you felt it in me. I was like, we're in. We're going to finally get something. And we didn't. So, you want another weird story? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Weird no? Weird yes, weird no.
Weird, yes.
We talked about Gene Hackman yesterday dying.
Yeah. And his wife and dog.
Yeah. And his wife's body, and possibly his too, were partly mummified. Did you see that?
Well, I saw that it had been some time. Maybe they didn't know how long they had been deceased. So, stuff starts to set in.
Some disturbing new details have come to light concerning the death of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy and their dog. A Santa Fe detective told TMZ that Betsy was found lying on her right side in the bathroom with a black space heater near her head. Police think the heater may have fallen off the counter, possibly when she fell, if she fell. There was also an open prescription bottle on the countertop with pills scattered around it. But here's the disturbing part. Her body was decomposed and showing signs of mummification. Hackman was found in a mudroom of the kitchen, and police think he may have fallen suddenly because his glasses seemed to have been thrown off his body. He was fully clothed, and his body was in similar condition to his wife's. The dog, a German Shepherd, was found in a closet near the bathroom. But they now, if I'm correct, say it wasn't carbon monoxide poisoning, which is what my early guess was, and then it was semi-confirmed, although inaccurate, because then people said, we think it could have been this silent killer, which is carbon monoxide poisoning, because you just feel like you're going to sleep, and the next thing you know, you're dead and you don't wake up. The maintenance workers who found them said they hadn't seen them in 2 weeks. The front door was ajar when police arrived, but there were no signs of forced entry. As for speculation, they died of carbon monoxide poisoning. The fire department and New York Mexico Gas Company inspected the property and found no signs of a gas leak. At this point, they don't know how or why Gene and Betsy died.
Well, and so then there was the one dog that died, but then there was other dogs on the property. I think maybe 1 or 2 more that are alive.
Wonder if because they weren't in the house.
Maybe. But if it wasn't a carbon monoxide thing, then yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, what in the world happened?
That's bizarre.
Because
And I'll go to conspiracy guy only because of TV. But TV's a lot of times based in what they know people can really do. I've seen a couple of shows where they can, not saying this happened, but they can put a knife in between your toes full of something, and it can inhibit or kill you. But then what they're putting in, they can put drugs around you, and it looks like it's an overdose.
right.
Because that can be like an OD of drugs in your system, but they do it in between your toes or somewhere that you almost will never look or can't even see a needle injection.
Whereas like if you've got track marks on your arm.
Or they'll do it between your toes and then do a different needle of the drugs into a place of your body that you would have taken the drugs, and then put the drugs somewhere around when the drugs aren't what killed you.
And they said there that the drugs were like her pills
Her
were
pills
scattered.
Just a pill
Scattered.
bottle. I didn't say drugs
Well-
as far as like heroin or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it could have been a prescription. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, I have pills on my bathroom counter. And if I were to maybe fall and it knocked over, you would think, oh, maybe these pills have something to do with it when they don't.
You leave those open?
Yeah, and out. She just leaves them scattered around.
I mean, I might, like, I don't know. I mean, on any given
Yeah.
day, you may find me forget to put the lid on.
Okay.
Quick mid-roll here. I do want to read one more source in the Epstein stuff because I just want to make sure I hit 2 sources just so people don't think I am inserting my opinion in this or picking an entity that has an opinion. This is from the AP. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday released government documents related to wealthy financier Jeff Epstein. But the first wave of files posted on the Justice Department website had largely been circulating in the public domain for years and did not include any new bombshells about the sex trafficking case that had been a favorite subject of conspiracy theorists.
Well, then this is just stupid.
It's just stupid. Yes, that's true. That's true.
And that is my opinion.
I agree with that opinion. I'll have
Yeah.
that opinion.
You can say that, right?
I said, hey, allegedly this is stupid. Nope, just stupid.
You
Yeah.
can say that safe.
I'm not reading this from any other source but my own.
Stupid.
I honestly believed, there was a part of me that believed, I was suckered into it, that we were going to get some, maybe not all, but some real information, and there would start to be justice served.
Yes, for the survivors that have had to endure this for so many years.
Yeah. Anything you want to say on that, Lunchbox?
I don't think we're going to hear anything because there's too many people close to, like, Donald Trump is on that list, right? So
It's like 7 times, I think.
Right. And so he is not going to implicate himself or anyone around him if he knows of people that were there. Because he was around Epstein. He saw some people, I would assume, that were there. And he's like, I'm going to protect them. So it's all, I'm going to do this. And we're not really going to do anything because there's too many people that are still alive that can get in trouble. And I think everybody has friends in high places. These people are well connected. So we're never going to find out.
And I would say it's not just Trump-based. I mean, Biden might have gone through the same thing where Biden wasn't, because Biden's 210
He's
years old.
way
Yeah.
old.
He but I'm sure he knew people.
Oh, for
So
sure.
it's rich, successful people protecting other rich, successful people. It's billionaires protecting billionaires. But to be fair, and to semi-counter that point. What was released yesterday by Trump did have Trump's name in it.
Right, but you said that's already common knowledge. We've already known all that. So my whole thing is they come out and say, we're going to do this to get everybody excited, and then they don't do anything. So it's like, is it all just smoke and mirrors, like to get you excited? Like, oh, see, we did release it. We told you we were going to release it. And most people maybe not catch that that's already been public knowledge.
Some of that public knowledge, though, like I said, was a bit disinformationized because people would release all the different ones too to kind of cloud it, so you really didn't know who was on what. And by the way, that 7 number I said on it may not have been 7. It could have been 6. Could have been 9. Could have been 3. But
say all the numbers just to make sure.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Zero.
Could have
Even
been
zero.
110.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I do a lot of reading on this, but also I think part of it too was the new FBI head said day 1 it's coming out in the campaign. It's like day 1 so I think that's why people are upset. You saw people that are on the right side yesterday upset too, going,
oh yeah,
where the heck, it's just not a partisan thing. So all right, there's that.
And I think, can I go to Gene Hackman? I think I got a theory.
yeah.
I think those
Allegedly.
pills, allegedly.
Theory, allegedly, yeah.
Because assisted suicide, I believe, is illegal in New Mexico. And I think he was older. And so I think, just the pills, they tried it on the dog to see if it would work. It worked. And then they took the pills together.
Oh, wow.
But I would say that, okay, my counterpoint to that is,
maybe the dog
if
was sick.
assisted suicide is legal, you can do that legally. And there's nothing illegal about both. That's not assisted. That's you guys killing yourselves. That's not assisted. Assisted is when a doctor comes in and gives you something. And if it's legal, then the doctor could legally do it without there being any of this. How did they die?
That's a great point. I just wonder, I'm just trying to figure out where they got if my theory about those pills is, who did they get to prescribe those pills? And they said, these should work. And so they try it on the dog first.
You don't even need a prescription, dude. You can get pills from anybody if you
That's
have
a
money.
good point. You have
What
money.
were the pills? Do they know?
No,
They don't know.
didn't say.
I just had a theory because once they said it's not carbon monoxide, I'm like, the pills are there.
Well, I would counter that theory and say it is not that because it didn't matter if it was legal or not because everybody ended up dying.
Yeah.
They all just could have had a death pack and we all die together. Assisted suicide doesn't have to be legal to do that. And assisted suicide is a doctor gets to come in.
That's true. That's the Kevorkian guy.
Or, well, yeah. I mean, he was one. Yeah, he died.
Long time ago?
A few years ago. I don't
really?
know. Yeah. Assisted suicide is when you get to go to a place where they come and they administer this and they do allow you to die. And then they go, this is legal. We did it. So I don't think that's it, but I appreciate the theory.
Question about just Lunchbox. Did you come up with that yourself? Or how did you know that assisted suicide was legal in New Mexico?
I had read that somewhere. But once I saw that, my first thought was, man, because I didn't even read the carbon monoxide at first. When I just saw the headline that they both died and that assisted suicide was legal in New Mexico, I was like, dang, she was like 30 years younger. She had a lot of life to live.
Oh, she was.
Died in 2011. What states does
Kevorkian?
assisted suicide? Yeah.
I just looked it up. Washington, Vermont, California, Washington, D.C., Colorado, Hawaii, New Jersey, Maine, and New Mexico. And this is all different years. Like Washington was 2008, all the way up to New Mexico was just 2021.
I'm pro-assisted suicide. Like if you are in so much pain and you want to die, and you want to die in a way that is humane,
That's a lot more states than I thought.
and you are of clear mind, okay, if somebody else does do it, you're going to do it to yourself.
Montana.
Yeah, I just don't know if I could do it to anyone.
Well, you're not.
I know I'm not.
You're not asked to. You're
Yeah,
not
you
a
do.
doctor.
You don't have to make the
It's
decision.
a physician-assisted
Yeah,
suicide.
it's a doctor.
Oh, that's the only way, not a wife or
the
a
way,
husband?
yes, that's
Well,
just
then
suicide.
That's murder. Oh,
Yeah, that's just suicide
Okay,
or
that's
murder.
right. Okay.
Yeah, assisted suicide is with a doctor.
Got it.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do it. Daddy, don't worry.
Okay,
like, I
look,
can't
and
do
guys,
that.
here, patients must have a terminal illness and a prognosis of 6 months or less to live. Physicians cannot be prosecuted for prescribing medications to make them die faster.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't realize that you have to have a prognosis of 6 months to live. You can't just decide one day.
Oh,
Yeah, but if you do decide one day, you just do it yourself.
sure.
And we hope you don't, but yes. And that's
Right.
not illegal if you're dead, because what are they going to do? Put
But
you in
like,
jail?
what if you're told, you've got a terminal cancer, but you could live 3 years? You could, unless they tell you.
You could go to Europe. They do it in Europe more than that. They're a little more free in Europe about that. But I would, for me, I don't know, unless I was in that situation, I'd be holding on because I'd be like, maybe in the next 8 days they come up with some, or do like some of the, like Andy Kaufman, travel around the world, try to find all the different ways.
The stones all over your body.
But yes, I don't think it was assisted suicide because there was no one there to go, hey, I helped them in assisted suicide, which is legal. And I don't know that either one of them had a condition that was known. But it is weird. They're all dead. It did sound to me like carbon monoxide poisoning.
Mm-hmm. Because the dog. Poor little dog.
We were watching a show the other day, and I don't think I'm alone in this thought. Kill the humans on the show before you kill the dog.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dog, and the dog's like at risk. I'm like, if somebody shoots that dog, I'm pissed. You can shoot all the people. I don't give a crap. Like, do not hurt the dog. Like, my priorities are way out of whack when it comes to dogs versus animals. I'm like, animals like have good hearts because they don't know the difference in good and bad. They just live. It's humans that have the bad hearts.
Yeah.
And doing bad stuff. In what was the Will Smith movie where
Legend.
I Am Legend.
The
It
dog.
was him and the dog. Will Smith, I'm wishing you the best, man. Good luck with that movie. Do not touch the freaking dog. An axe-wielding man attacks a couple's car after getting rear-ended. This would be my luck. I accidentally rear-end someone and dude jumps out with an axe. Wild video shows a man in Memphis, Tennessee repeatedly striking a couple's car with an axe. The victim told police that after they accidentally struck the suspect's vehicle, he began yelling, went and retrieved an axe, and smashed their front and back windshields before driving off. See, hopefully this guy understood that they either A, were being reckless and negligent and they hit him because they're idiots. And that's why he did it, because he shouldn't have done it anyway. And not somebody who accidentally rear-ends someone all of a sudden like, oh man, that sucks. And then some guy gets out with an axe. Like, I'm 2 points more okay with the guy taking the axe to their windshield if they're big fat idiots. I still don't like it. And he shouldn't do it. But if like somebody is a moron and rear ends you and it's like, that's what you get, or they're like bumping you because of some road rage thing or any of that, well, you got an axe on your windshield, play stupid games, get stupid prizes. But if you accidentally rear end somebody and somebody jumps out with an axe, that sucks. I mean, it still kind of sucks even if you're an idiot, but better an axe than a gun's what I say.
When I was like 18, I'll never forget, I was in my Jeep and I got rear-ended and I was like, what the? And I see these two guys in the back. I get out. I'm like, what? Like, what happened? I thought it was just a regular accident. And the guys were like, what are you going to do about it? And there were two big dudes. And I go, nothing. I got back in my car and we left.
Once I was driving into the parking lot of a restaurant near my house every day called Galaxy Cafe. And I had a car from a car dealership that they had given me to drive for like 3 months. And I'm just sitting there waiting for someone to pull in and take a parking spot. And in front of me is this massive white truck. And they turned their reverse lights on because they were going to try to get a spot. There wasn't even a fight over a spot. I'm just in line. Back right into me. And so, big truck. So I know whoever gets out, I ain't going to win this regardless. Big dude gets out. Big son gets out. And they go, why'd you hit me? And I go, I didn't hit you. Because a little bit I was mad. Because now they're putting it on me. But also a little bit I knew I was about to get my butt kicked.
Right.
And I kind of had to weigh that. The old scales of justice were confused. Like, what do I do? And I was like, dude, I didn't hit you. Like, you literally backed into me. And he goes, no, I didn't. Luckily, there was a Mexican restaurant right next to Galaxy Cafe where there was an outdoor patio. And somebody stands up and goes, I saw the whole thing. You backed into him. And the guy's like, okay. And gave me his insurance. But I think they were going to either intimidate me or beat me up. I was already being intimidated.
Or both.
And I was about to get beat up.
Yeah.
But I literally did nothing. And they got out and wanted to blame me for like driving into the back of their massive truck. What sucked was that was the dealership's car. And I had to go to them and go, wasn't even my car. Sorry about that.
It's the worst.
There's a bounty that's been placed on anyone who dares to leave a negative review of a ramen restaurant. The owner has placed a cash bounty on the heads of those who rip his restaurant online. The cash reportedly will be paid to anyone who successfully identifies those who complain about the restaurant or the customer service. On Instagram, the owner said, if you write a stupid review, we will find you. We will beat you up.
It's funny.
It's from Anime Galaxy. In addition, those who blow in the unhappy customer service with personal information location or are willing to take action will be paid 100,000 yen or 662 American dollars. That almost feels illegal that you say you can go beat up somebody. Like, here's the reward for beating up somebody.
Yeah, this doesn't seem right.
Experts say you can make your jeans more comfortable with this little trick. Put your jeans on, gently spray lukewarm water on the parts you want to stretch. After you do this, do a few lunges and squats. You'll notice they are stretched, they fit better. It's also to not wash your jeans a ton and avoid putting them in the dryer. This significantly changes the comfortability and fit from First for Women to 2525. Amy?
Yeah, I mean, they say the less you wash them, the better. But sometimes I'm just like, ugh, I really want to wash my jeans. But they also say you can stick your jeans in the freezer if they have like a weird smell. Like, say you go out to eat and then they smell like the restaurant. You can stick them in the freezer for 24 hours and the odor will go away.
Risky for me to spray water on pants because I'm going to hit right in the middle. It's going to look like I wet myself.
Well, you got to have time to.
I know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
2 Southwest passengers get a private jet experience after learning they're the only flyers on a 165-seat plane.
That's awesome.
2 college students
It's funny.
booked
College.
and had the anomaly of the incredible result. They got them on a Southwest flight. The pair detailed their accidental fly rolling adventure in a video with over 4.8 million views on TikTok. We were just giddy. While checking their bags at a Salt Lake City airport, a Southwest employee had reported to them that, you basically have a charter plane because nobody else is on it. That's pretty funny. The pictures are funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, a bunch of seats. And then finally, as far as the stories go, and I saw this video on TikTok and there was no audio, so I didn't bring it in. It's so bizarre. This fisherman caught what looks like an alien. Have you seen this thing?
Mm-mm.
It's not a fish.
Well, a lot of creatures from the ocean look like aliens.
I'm telling you, whatever this is. Has anybody seen this thing?
I've seen it.
I'm not saying it's for sure an alien. There has never been a more alien type thing pulled from the water that I've ever seen.
It's a very weird looking fish. Doesn't even look like. I wouldn't even call it a fish. Doesn't look like a fish.
Would you mind sending Amy a link to this?
Yeah, because maybe I have seen it. I saw a pretty crazy looking fish.
I'm telling you. You ever see Squidward's head?
No.
That's a good one. That's a good description.
Who's
it
that?
looks like from SpongeBob. Squidward is.
He's got the big
That's
nose.
SpongeBob. He's. What is he? Like octopus?
Squidward tentacles, so
I
I
think
think
it's
he's
a
like an
squid.
octopus.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Morgan.
Oh my
Squid.
gosh.
I'm an idiot. Thank you. Squidward's a squid.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Tell me about that.
Okay, I have not seen this before.
Why are you coughing?
Because I don't know, it's just like,
It's a picture.
I know, but it's gross looking to me.
A fisherman catches a bizarre alien-like sea creature.
Oh,
But apparently the guy, he's like Russian, and that's what he does. He fishes weird things and takes pictures of them, and people follow him for that.
that is
Yeah.
Okay, he
whoa,
wins.
weird.
It is weird. It's a weird looking thing.
Hilarious that we're like, what is Squidward? And Morgan goes, it's a squid.
Idiots.
Idiots.
I think he is an octopus.
Who?
Squidward.
No way.
Squidward's a squid.
He is. Okay, but is a squid an
It could be part of that family.
anthropomorphic octopus?
Who is Squidward?
From SpongeBob?
Hey, let's be real.
Oh.
He's not real.
He
a
has
made-up
8 arms
character.
and legs. I don't think squids have 8 arms.
But still, for us not to go first to squid with the name Squidward, that's on us for being idiots. I'll
And
read you the
SpongeBob is a sponge.
SpongeBob is,
He's a
Squids
sponge.
have
He's a
8
sponge,
arms
yeah.
but
and
a
2
sponge,
longer
but like a
tentacles.
living, like a
Yeah. A reef sponge or whatever.
Excuse me, Morgan.
They're part of the
Squids have
cephalopod.
8 arms and 2 longer tentacles.
Oh yeah. Well,
So I do think they're all part of the.
not
Yeah.
really something I feel like fighting about. So
They're in the cephalopod family.
Squidward was created and designed by marine biologist and animator Steven Hillenburg. He first appeared on television in the pilot episode. Although his name has the word squid in it, he only has 6 tentacles. Squidward is an anthropomorphic octopus, which is probably somewhere between an octopus and a squid. But who cares? We should have just said squid because his name is Squidward.
Mhm.
Anyway, about this ocean thing.
Alien.
Yeah, dude. This looks like an alien head, doesn't it? With 2 big eyeballs.
Well, and you always said like aliens could come from the ocean too. We don't know. And this thing, it definitely looks like an alien.
It
It's
looks like it has 2 big brains.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It looks like the aliens from Mars Attacks, that movie. I don't know if you remember
Old
that
school?
from back in the day. 90s maybe? Mars Attack from the 90s, Mike?
Yeah, 96.
Okay. There's that. What's going on this weekend, Amy?
Well, I get my kids back today, so I get them back on Fridays after school. So sometimes it's like okay, who have you talked to friend wise? What do we have going on? Trying to figure out what all they have. So I'm excited to see them. And then I'm doing a walk in the morning for like a colon cancer walk. So I'll be up early.
Like to raise money.
Yeah, awareness.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's just increasing in like younger and younger people. And it's crazy because it's one of those cancers that if you catch it early, it could totally, your survival rate is very high. It could save your life, early detection. And so many people just think, oh, I'm too young to have this. It must be a hemorrhoid or something like that, when it actually could be colon cancer. So fun run, but I'll be walking.
You guys on the Pod Meets World drama? Or is that just on my TikTok feed?
Oh, Boy Meets World?
Yeah, Pod Meets World is the podcast though, where it all happened.
Oh,
and it's
what
the Boy
happened?
Meets World cast.
They're fighting?
Well, Topanga and whatever the girl's name is, the red hair girl that came in later. It basically was all Topanga unfollowed her on Facebook, and then it turned into a whole fight after. It boils down to Topanga unfollow her on Facebook, but they've been going at it. Like her name's like Maddie. Do you know?
I can't remember her name.
Matten.
I know what character like she played.
Yeah.
She played Sean's girlfriend for
Yes.
a long time, and they're one of their roommates. But yeah, I think the drama is also around Ben Savage, who is not friends with them anymore.
Who doesn't talk to any of them at all. And
Yeah.
like the guys are like, Ben, just stop talking to me. Yeah, so Maitland Ward is her name. I thought Topanga crushed. Like, I thought she went on, and they were getting into it pretty good. And I thought Topanga had great points, never lost her cool. She was like, you just want to use this for clicks. But, yeah, I spent like 2 days on Pod Meets World. That's the name of the podcast for Boy Meets
Are
World.
both of those girls on the podcast?
No, Topanga is.
Oh, okay.
But Maitland, I think, had been talking about it, and then they pulled Maitland on that podcast to talk it out, not to like attack her.
Mm-hmm.
It was my kind of awkward. I was in. But yeah, Topanga stood her ground. And Maitland was like, you know, I was really starting to get famous and you weren't treating. Topanga's like, wait, hold on. You think I was jealous? I was on the cover of Maxim at the exact time. Like, I was blowing up. So you're not going to put that against me. It was great. It was great. And also, I liked Topanga, so she was rocking it. Seemed like somebody I'd be friends with. Anything, Morgan, from that? Do you remember?
Yeah, no, it was just more that it's crazy because like we ran into them at iHeart Festival, and I remember being like, "Oh, it's so cool," but the Boy Meets World, like Ben Savage is a huge part of that, and he wasn't with them, and it was just weird. So I'm glad that they at least finally kind of addressed that awkwardness because I feel like it's been such a white like elephant in the room with all of the stuff with Boy Meets World.
Yeah, because his brother on the show is the one who would talk about him and Ben Savage used to talk, and then one day Ben just midway through never spoke to them again. Yeah, we're waiting. We're too
Fill her
into this.
in.
Yeah, we're too
When
It's
into this.
such a good show, though.
When we break up, who's gonna not talk to us anymore?
I mean, I prefer now to not talk.
What? Stop. I don't even like talking like that.
What?
What?
It's hypothetical.
I know, but it's just stupid.
I feel like Lunchbox would just go
What?
MIA.
If I hit the lottery, you will never hear from me again.
That's what I'm
Ever?
saying.
Ever.
That's
I
what
will
I'm
never talk.
saying.
I have nothing to say to you guys.
Oh gosh. Well,
Fair enough.
There you go.
Call me.
He's Ben Savage.
I think you heard it here first. Okay.
See why I didn't want to talk about that?
But why? It's not a big deal.
What? I don't like hearing that none of us will ever talk again.
Seasons, man.
This has been a very, 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 very long season.
Exactly.
I mean, do you talk to people from your old granite job?
Yes, I do.
Really?
How often?
Well, Luke is one of my dearest friends from high school. Chris
No,
Kohler.
when's the last time you talked to Luke?
Oh, probably a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
And and then Chris, he did accounting there. I see him in Colorado because he goes to the same place where my sister lives, and every summer and winter we're like, hey.
But if he
what's
didn't
up?
happen to be in the same place, right?
But we do still talk though. You didn't say there was rules around how you talk.
Yeah, there is.
No, and then
Because if we happen to be at the same place, I'll talk to you guys. But if
Sure.
not,
I'm not gonna ignore you guys.
yeah, yeah.
no, but I mean we'll reach out. We
My
don't.
name's not Bobby. I know who you talking about.
Okay, well, yes. So just to answer your question, yes. Okay. Yes, I do. Lunchbox, I'm sure you still talk to somebody from Sam's Club 259.
Lunchbox talks to every high school person he ever met
Exactly.
during the show
so,
on
like, why
Facebook.
would he not talk to us?
Well, I mean, it's just different. I mean, I don't talk to him as much as I used to. I thought we were going to talk a lot more. Like Mark and I, when we worked at Sam's Club, 6416,
Okay.
he sat there and we were sitting there in the carts and outside, and he looked at me and goes, "You think we'll be friends in 2 years?" I said, heck no, we won't be friends in 2 years, dude. Like, once we leave here, we'll never talk to each other. Ended up, we were roommates for like 3 years. We lived in a house together, and then he got married earlier than I did, and we kind of just, we don't talk as much. Like, once every 6 months, I'll text him, like, hey, man, what's up?
But that's okay. I mean,
But
even
that's
if
not
we were to
talking
all
like
just
we
talk
used to.
once a year or something, that's not.
You also don't have to talk to your friends for them to be friends. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
you
what I
can-
mean.
you
Like,
can-
we could
you
talk
can be
once.
friends without talking ever. So you guys have always been friends, but
There you go.
may never talk.
Maybe that's how Ben Savage feels.
That's
It's-
right.
I don't think it is.
No, okay.
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Listen, there's a bunch of shows randomly added to the podcast now. I'm working on that. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna make sure this podcast feed's a lot cleaner. I get frustrated too when there are so many things in that podcast feed. So give me some time to clean that up, and it will be easier to navigate. So I see your messages. I got you. Kind of. I don't have full control over it, but I will make sure that how it is now is not how it will be in a few weeks. So let me work on the podcast feed for those that get annoyed that there are so many different things up there, so many different shows. Other than that, we will see you guys on Monday. Hope you guys have a good weekend.